Hey folks, Rick Berube here, Facebook Live. We have a very special treat today, folks, from taking time out of spring training from third baseman, the LA. No, I'm only kidding. He looks like Justin Turner, but it's actually Mark Sapienza. Mark, thanks for taking your time out this morning. Appreciate it, my man.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
All right, so let me do a little introduction first. Okay, so last year you were the number 3 team in your office. You were number 10 in all of our California, that section of California as a team. And I think you did like over 13 million in production last year, right?
Yeah.
All right, so that's a quick introduction, but tell us a little about yourself and how long you've been doing this and all that good stuff so they get an idea of who we're talking to.
All right. Well, the long and short of it, I got into real estate because my best friend was in it and it was easy.
Yeah.
We did some, a couple investor type flips, new construction, put in the backyards, made some minor changes and got married. The market crashed.
Yeah.
Had a wife, an overpriced house, and, had to kind of get to work.
Yep.
So at the time, my best friend and I teamed up. And he was coming from new sales, so his perspective on real estate was different than reality.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with new construction and new sales, but those of us that have stayed in the business and pound the pavement, we understand that it's a different ball game.
Yeah.
Very quickly we realized that we were better as friends and not as teammates, and left the business. We got over our issues. We're still friends today. I'm actually one of his referral partners.
Oh, nice.
So so it's worked out from that standpoint, and then it's just been kind of a grind and learn the business and make it work from there.
All right, cool. So, and I know that you have a team there. So, tell us a little about your team. Who's on it, how many people, all that good stuff.
So my team, it's ever changing, but my success is really based on my team. I have a transaction coordinator, which has really helped me for nothing else than not feeling like I'm tied to the computer. SkySlope is wonderful. At the same time, it's still time consuming. It's still one of those daily tasks. I like the ability to check in on it, but I don't like to have to feel like I have to babysit it and wait for the next email to kind of come through. I have 2 other members who were kind of more in the field. I have Holly Allred, who's, she's been fantastic. She's great with buyers, and that's kind of her direction. She's just, a lot of energy and kind of going there. And then Ryan has joined the team recently, and he's been both a great asset as far as a buyer's agent and, helping with listings, and kind of sees like a bigger picture. So we all have different roles to play. One is very much more tech savvy. The other one, not so much.
Right.
And I feel like that's real in the world that we live in, because there's a lot of agents who have computers that don't have cameras and microphones, which I feel like we all do, and then there's a lot of buyers and sellers who don't do that either. They want to see things pen and paper and kind of work with it, so we're able to kind of mold ourselves to fit. So
that's great. That's great. Yeah, I know Holly. I know both of them. Then Holly comes to my training once in a while. Ryan too, and great group. And then you also have some help administratively too, don't you?
Yeah, I do, and then that's been kind of the key. I mean, and I try to farm it out to the people who know best. So like I have a couple different people I use for videos and photography, and I try to piece out. And it's almost like a dating game. Who's going to give me the best eye for this particular product, this particular house? And then social media is a constant battle, trying to figure out what's the new look, what's the new thing, and still trying to wrap my head around that.
Okay.
But constantly interviewing.
All right, cool. I love it. Love it. So, and just to give them perspective, because I know you're in Rancho Cucamonga, what's your average sale price in your office there? About $450?
No, our average sale price is right around 6.
Oh, 6. Okay.
Yeah.
So 13 million. Then you did. Do you know about how many transactions that was?
We hit Michael Jordan last year, 23.
Nice.
Trying to get,
Sports analogy. I love it. By the way, have you watched that that whole thing about him? And that's pretty amazing.
It's amazing, and I think that I try to see things from every different walk of life, sports and non-sporting alike. But I think someone like that is you show that the hype isn't real unless you actually earn it.
Right.
And I would say after all this time, I think he'd be it's time to calm down a little bit.
Right.
Like, he's still aggressive. He's still going after it. And he's not even competing on the court. It's amazing.
It's like one of those. It's like I read the book called Relentless, where I
Hmm.
think it's Tim Grover was his trainer, who eventually
Right.
became Kobe's trainer, and he said that the guy is just he's competitive 24/7. As a matter of fact, when he started working with him, he said to him, Tim, I don't train you to train me. I don't pay you to train me. I pay you to train nobody else but me. So until Michael Jordan retired, he couldn't train anybody else, and then he went off and trained other people, and it was amazing. And that book's a great book. If you haven't read it yet, I would take a look at it.
I haven't. I'll take a look at that.
All right, cool. Relentless. All right, so now give us a little idea. I mean, now we have an idea of what you've done and who's on your team, and so how do you get this done every year? I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Um, I so a lot of it comes down to accountability. Like I said, I got in the business at probably the worst time, 2007. I think I had for our office at the time, I had the first short sale in the surrounding area, and it was a learning curve for not only myself, the other agents, but also the bank that we were dealing with. I mean, it was brutal. Even to the day of recording, we just literally yelling on speakerphone, trying to get everybody to understand what they need to sign in order for this deal to happen. And
Right.
that was before we even started to see the peak or the craziness that came. And then, like I said, I was new in the business. I was still trying to figure things out. I was no longer on a team, with a partner who, it wasn't easy. A new wife, overpriced house, and then it was just kind of grinded out. I've been blessed. I have 2 children who hold me accountable, along with my wife, and so I wake up every day. I know everybody has their own strategy.
Right.
And you've got to find what works for you. I know that I don't sit well. I'm a pacer. On the phone, like I walk around, I just can't, unless it's a movie, leave me alone. I just have to move. I have to be doing a couple different things at one time. And so that kind of like I get confused because I have a hard time saying I can't work from the house. I have to come to the office.
Right.
Right. I have to be in that environment because it makes me think in a certain way. It makes me feel accountable.
Right.
My daughter, when she was 4 years old, I'd pick her up from preschool and she'd say, "Daddy, how was your day?" And I said, "It was a good day. It was a little rough." She goes, "Did you make any money?"
Wow.
I'm like, and it was done in fun, but it was also like, maybe I instilled that in her, but that was kind of like, okay, well, I'm accountable to her every day. Like when I wake up, I'm hungry, they're hungry, and we all need to eat.
Right.
And then when you bring on a team, they're hungry, they need to eat. What can I do to do that? And I found that my background being restaurants and hospitality was provide a service and do the best that you can. So, in saying that, I think the worst thing that I was ever told from year to year was that I did the same.
Right.
I'd rather fail and learn from that or succeed and try something different.
I love it.
The last 3 years have been, a learning curve and growth. Berkshire Hathaway has been, the name coming from Prudential. I mean, there's been a lot of positives that come out of that for me.
Yep.
Great group of people, great group of networking. What you guys offer as resources, yourself, Mark. I've been able to learn and kind of just have like moments with Gordon or Maria Hill. Like I went on 3 listing appointments last year, and I lost all 3 of them. I have never lost 3 listing appointments in a row.
A year, yeah.
Now, whether it was a bad run, bad luck, or it's time to refresh things. I sat down with Maria. She carved time out. We worked. I went to her, and we had just a little bit of time. But that emphasis on changing it, I haven't lost a listing appointment yet. Knock on wood.
Nice.
The market's changed, but I feel like that gave me the confidence or whatever I needed to kind of move forward and see things from a different perspective.
Yep.
And so, from that standpoint, it's a matter of drive. I started at, with Berkshire Hathaway, I was at 19. Then I moved down to 12. Last year I was at number 10. The goal is to move into single digits this year. Constantly grow, try things and fail. If you're gonna fail at something, man, you better fail the best you can.
Right. Love it.
And that's been kind of my motto.
I love it too because Maria is really good at helping you with the marketing part and talk about somebody with energy and I mean when I met her I tell the story all the time, but when I met her, Mark asked me, so, because we all interviewed her individually before she started, and he goes, what do you
Right.
think? And I go, well, I don't know much about marketing, but I know she knows a lot about marketing. So she's one of those people that you can just tell when she starts talking. She has confidence and she knows what she's doing, so she can definitely help you out. Now, since you brought it up, I'm going to throw in a little plug here. Have you checked out the new VAC 2.0 yet?
I have been checking it out, and it kind of came at a good time for me, just in the fact that I'm trying to figure out the next thing, the next CMA, the next strategy in getting this. There's so much stuff in the VAC. The old that I wasn't paying attention to, the new one is now making it more of a priority.
Yeah.
Because I think there's more things that I can leverage just to get out there. I feel like we as realtors, me personally, and my team, Ryan especially, has been reminding me of this, is we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No.
Right?
No.
Let's just make it go faster. Let's just use it.
Yep.
Get a bigger tire if you want to, but let's roll.
I agree with you 100%, and that's why it's so good that everything will be in one place. It'll be. I know agents in Nevada that, because the way they're launching it in different states, and that have already canceled their other thing that they were using CRM and transferred everything over. It's that good. So I'd recommend. And I'm not a big. I'm more of a computer guy now than I ever have been, but when it helps me do my business, I want to learn how to use it. And the residual part. Your CR, all the people in your sphere, your farming, if you're doing that, it'll be tremendously helpful for all of that. Market reports. So I definitely recommend that you, and it's easy. It's like an iPhone. You just play with it, figure it out, and then you know how to use it.
Well, you got to find the good in anything, and
Yep.
COVID and the quarantine and all that stuff that's come along. Like, I have clients that could barely use their phone, could barely use something, and now they're like Zoom, Google Meets, they're on like this, Skype. Like, we're doing things in such a way, and now it's like freeing up time. Again, working smarter and not harder, being a goal is like doing escrow instructions. I'm able to share the screen, right? Show them what they're looking at, so if time isn't permit, if they're a nurse in one case where they're working crazy hours and it's just not feasible for me to be in their house at 1 o'clock in the morning signing escrow instructions with them, we're doing this online. Like, I can sit there with a cup of coffee, we can work through this, and they're not so intimidated, but we're able to kind of proceed forward. So, the technology is getting easier, and I'm just trying to leverage it and make it better for everybody.
Very
for my
smart.
staff.
Very smart. Well, speaking of that, since you brought it up, so last year you did 23 over 13 million. How are you doing so far this year, and what effect has COVID have on you?
So far we're over 14 at this point in time.
Nice.
We're halfway, so we're and we're kind of ramping up, believe it or not. I think COVID affected everybody. A lot of it for me was emotional. In dealing, my wife's a teacher, my 2 kids. I'm also a select area coach, so trying to travel teams, and all of a sudden all this disappointment just kind of flooded. I found that there's no house big enough. There's not enough square footage for a family to be stuck in a house together for a certain amount of time.
Right.
A lot of classes, a lot of Zoom calls,
no matter how much love there is.
I love my family to death, but I now garden.
Yeah, right.
I used to go buy stuff. Now I'm growing it.
That's funny. That's good. I love it.
But I've used it as it's kind of got me to slow things down a little bit. Instead of just getting up in the morning and getting to the office, it's like, hey, take some time, walk the house, say hi to everybody, like kind of appreciate what you built, where you're at, be thankful that in this difficult time you're in a situation where if this is where you have to be quarantined, you're pretty lucky.
Right.
There's a pool with a shade, the refrigerator's got some food in it, you got a nice barbecue. There are worse things and worse places to be, right? Yeah. So kind of keep everyone safe. And I've been able to go back and talk to some past clients, talk to friends, and kind of leverage that. One of the deals that have come out of COVID is they realized that the house didn't work for them. 3 bedrooms, open concept. There's 4 people all in different meetings, and they're overhearing everybody. That house doesn't work. So we sold that one, got that one listed. Multiple offers the next day, and we're in escrow on the next thing. So this is this has happened amidst everything else. Like people who want to buy, they want to buy. People who want to sell.
Right.
We just have to figure out the vehicle to get there and accommodate. I mean, sometimes I'm boots, gloves, face mask, the whole deal. Sometimes it's not as intrusive, but it's just, you just got to kind of fight through it and help them get to where they need to go or want to go.
Yeah. It's like some people say, well, this COVID's going to, it's like, it's like anything else. When people are getting divorced, does that mean they want twice as much money or they can't wait to get out? You just said some people are going to be working out of their houses now. Some companies are going to make those adjustments. So like you just said, Mark, if I can't see myself working out of here, I'm going to get a different house. So there's pros and cons out of everything, but I like your attitude about it and so forth. But before we finish here, I got to ask you one important question I always ask everybody is, if you were a newer agent starting over or an agent trying to take your business to the next level, what are the 3 most important things you would tell them to focus on? And you've already mentioned a couple of them, but I'd like you to spell them out if you could, please.
Well, the first thing I would focus on is consistency.
Yep.
Whatever it is, just be consistent. And part of that to me is being present in the office. And it's kind of like any training or things like that. You can go to the Tom Ferrys, the Buffinis, or wherever you're going to go to. And sometimes those 1-day events, 3-day events, week-long events are great, but it's overwhelming. Like the flood of information that comes back. And I have paid for the full week's event, walked in, and within 3 hours got 3 really good things that I could implement right away. I was done.
Right.
I don't need to walk out with a book of 100 things and not do any of them.
Right.
If I can just get 3 things that I can tangibly go, like that's the learning curve. So like for the first thing is just be realistic, right? Like what can you do? If this is your first day running, don't try to do a marathon.
Right.
Right. Let's just do a long walk and see if we can walk the next day. Right. And kind of, ease our way into it. The second thing is I would say, don't be afraid to not know. I think we all kind of get in this mindset of we have to know the answer or have the answer right away. It's okay to let them know that, hey, this is what I do, and I have to go look into it.
Right.
So there's a lot of information out there, and you can feed which way the information you want. You want negative information, positive information, but let's go look for the facts. Let's dive in this together, and let's make the best decision for you. Because what I think might work for you, you may not be comfortable with, and vice versa. And having that ability to kind of be aware of it makes all the difference. And then the third thing I would do is I would say, interview and put yourself in a situation that's going to work best for you, but be realistic about it. But use the people that you want to rely on. So I've been very lucky. Brock's the manager here, and he and I have kind of come up. He was in it before me, but I've been able to rely on him. And as a manager or just the support staff that you guys provide here has been instrumental, because I can have a bad day and he'll tell me to get over it. I can have a good day and he's like, calm down, because, keep it realistic. And that works for me, and I know he has different conversations with everybody else, but, Shirley is like the glue of the office for me that I can rely on. And then just kind of having the opportunities, like I said, the interactions with you or Maria, Mark said something in a speech, and about 100% accountability about sitting at a stoplight and getting rear-ended.
Yeah.
And that's the fault. It sounds completely unrealistic, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it's true.
Right.
Right? So be accountable to yourself, because when you do need to do that listing presentation Saturday morning and you show up at the office, an hour early, that's when the printer's not going to work and the internet's down and 3 things are going to go. You have to think about that or be able to adapt. So, those are the things that I use that seem to kind of get me over the hump and keep pushing me forward. And like I said, we're more than halfway of where we were last year. We're looking to grow and kind of explode this year. There's an election year. Man, it's sunny outside. Get outside, make some hay, and see what happens.
I love it. No, those are 3 really good. I love that advice too. Keeping yourself accountable. Yeah, and a lot of agents, it's okay not to know. Like you said, ask, find out. Okay, and I love it. And implement. Don't try to drink out of a fire hose is the way I usually say the first one. Just do what you can. Do what you can. Yeah, you're getting a lot of great comments too over here too, just so you know. Lisa Watson says, great job, Mark. Who said preach, Mark? Jeff Anderson said, preach, Mark.
I've been lucky. And there's Francesca Gilbert, the Gilbert team,
Yep.
I had a great, she was my first introduction into kind of how you guys do things, and Danielle Hess, like just outside of your box, like it's been a good environment for me. It's a great backyard to play in.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to grow it.
Yeah, Francesca, I know both of them very well. They're both awesome agents. And that's the great thing about this company, too, is you can talk to people that are going down the same road as you, exchange ideas. Mark has his mastermind groups. Hopefully we'll be able to have those again, other than just on Google Hangouts. But that's still worth it, too. So great. So, all right. So we have to ask, since we started to talk about this, too, by the way, thanks for all your wonderful tips. But now we're going to take it a slightly different route for a second. Since you do look like the third baseman for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I know you're into sports, give us your prediction. What's going to happen with Major League Baseball this year?
I think they're taking the season off.
Okay, I know. Yeah.
I think they're going to relax by the poolside, and hockey's going to play, basketball's going to play, and let's see what goes from there.
But okay, so and I agree with you. I'm 50-50. I think that's possible because out of all three sports, or four sports, the major sports, I should include soccer. Sorry, 5 sports. The players seem to be the most in control when it comes to Major League Baseball, have the biggest contracts. So, but if they were to continue and do their 80-game season, give us a prediction. Who do you think is going to – I know who Vegas picks, but who do you pick?
I'm taking Dodgers all the way.
Of course you are.
We're reloading. We're ready to go. I'm third base.
Of course you're picking the Dodgers, and you should. You look like Justin Turner. And I know that they're your hometown team, too. So, all right, Mark. I don't want to take any more of your time. We've gone on for about 20 minutes today, so this has been completely awesome. I know you've given a lot of great, and to me, I can tell a lot of it is your mindset. You just get out there, you grind it, and you told the story about your daughter. My son used to ask me all the time when I came home, okay, how many homes did you sell today? I'm like, God, if I could sell a home every day, I'd be a super rock star. But that's how they talk, and you're like, what? It makes sense, right?
Right.
So thanks for taking your time out today, my man. I really appreciate it. Okay, we'll talk again soon. Thank you.
My pleasure. Take care.
Man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.